I want to be really broad with this because I don't want to get into specifics of scheme, but I think you called more on balance this game even than Ohio State, especially on a percentage of plays. So if you can articulate just what makes that such a difficult cover, I guess, without, again, getting into all the intricacies of it. I get the conceptually the ineligible receiver and whatnot, but since you've relied on it a lot and it has proven very, very effective for you.
Yeah. Heading into the game, UCLA had done a tremendous job, stopping the run either through their straight 4-down or their very extensive and exotic pressure package. So we wanted to try to find formations that would at least slow them down a little bit and giving us an opportunity to run the ball. And I felt that the two unbalanced formations and then, putting the 3 receivers into the sideline were the two that, it didn't stop them from blitzing, but it did slow them down just a little bit.
Alvaro Torres, end zoners.
Hi, Coach Moorhead.
Hello.
It's great to see you in the office.
You as well.
Your offense has been really balanced this season up until the red zone, where there seems to be a slight inclination towards the run. Is this due to anything in particular, or do you feel like the different matchups you faced throughout the season made the run more favorable?
Can you repeat that one more time, buddy?
If the matchups that you faced during the season are you making that decision to run? Sorry,
like run our decision, like our run pass percentage.
Yeah, in the red zone, you used to run more than passing.
Run more than pass. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah. We enter every game with a very specific red zone package, and we break it down by, yard line increments. And actually was visiting with Ralph Friedgen at Maryland many, many years ago when I was a offense coordinator at Akron, and they were one of the best red zone offenses in the country that year and a few years prior. And one of the things that stuck with me about that talk was, the closer you get to the goal line, the more proficient you better be at running the ball in order to score touchdowns. And that's something that always stuck with me. So we carry an equal amount of runs and passes in each of our red zone areas. But I think as the field space gets constricted and it eliminates some of your vertical stretches as opposed to your horizontal stretches, if you're good at running the ball, it gives you a good chance. I think we're 24 of 31 in red zone touchdowns, maybe heading into the game. I'm not sure if that was after it, but we've had a pretty good red zone touchdown success rate, which is important to us.
Preem, 247 Sports.
Yeah, Joe, you guys threw quite a bit. UCLA was obviously tough against the run. I think 16 first downs were thrown by Anthony, just 11 different guys catching balls. Just how do you evaluate this performance? It was, I felt really, really good from him. Maybe his best game of the year.
Yeah, from an overall offensive standpoint, I think we talked last week that UCLA was 8th in the country in stopping the run. And I think somewhere in the 120s and throwing. And we knew we were going to have to run the ball, particularly in short yards and goal line situations, and not completely abandon it because it's what we do best. But we presented a challenge to our line to be able to protect all their pressures, for our receivers to be able to get open, and our quarterbacks, to throw the ball. And so we said we were going to need to throw the ball well to win this football game. And I was proud that we were able to, rely on that aspect of the offense to help us get the win.
Zach Neal, Ducks Wire.
Coach, to kind of piggyback off of what Matt said, by my count, I think there was 7 passes that went for 15 yards or more gain. I know that some of those were caught into the line of scrimmage and there was yards after the catch, but I think that's among the most this year. Is there anything in game planning that opened that up for you, or is it just kind of how it broke out this year or this week?
Yeah, it just going back to how much UCLA was a blitz team, and it creates a lot of one-on-one matchups on the perimeter, and a lot of those were with off coverage, and then when they brought zero blitzes, they started pressing up a little bit. But I said the difficulty it presents an offense to run the ball based on their scheme, we felt that it opened up some things in the pass game that we were able to, of which we were able to take advantage.
Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Coach, I guess I'm going to keep piggybacking off the pass game part here, but specifically at wide receiver, I wondered, like, obviously Anthony has his most productive day. The pass game really starts clicking. Did the receivers find more open space? Did they get open? Was it a better performance by them, or was this just Anthony playing at a much better level overall?
I think it was all the guys. I mean, I think I've said it before. The pass game, there's really three components: the protection, the route and separation, and then the throw. And I thought our offensive line and our running backs did a really good job protecting their six-man pressures. The receivers did a good job of getting open down the field, and we complemented that with a number of screens. And then Anthony, second week in a row up over 70% completing the ball. So all three ingredients of a successful pass game came together pretty nicely on Saturday.
James.
About two specific receivers, Joe. I know we talked a little bit about Devin last week, but the fact that he's doing it now back-to-back weeks, he did it at times like that last year. And also Micah, that he had his most production, I think, certainly since you've been here, if not of his career, by way of just targets and receptions. What have they shown in practice, and what have they done in games to continue to put themselves in positions to make these plays?
Yeah, Devin gets me really, excited to see Devin continue to trend in the right direction, with his consistency, during the week in practice and carrying it over onto the field, because he's incredibly talented and gifted, physically, and presents a matchup problem, and is able to make yards after the catch. So, I'm confident that we're going to continue to see, great production during the week in practice, and then on game days with Devin. And Mike is a very talented matchup guy in the slot, and I think you saw him catch a screen, get over the top there on that deep over route, and I think we had him open on one more on a corner route that we missed. But between Jay Red and Mike in the slot there, we're very fortunate to have two guys of that talent level to run those routes on the inside.
Alvaro.
Well, you already talked a little about Anthony Brown, but what are your thoughts about his performance on Saturday, and what can you tell us about his progress throughout the season?
Who?
AB
Anthony
coach.
Brown.
Oh, Anthony. Yeah, I was. I said good. From Anthony and the entire, offense, specifically the receiving core, to challenge them in a game in which we were underdogs on the road that had a lot of implications to help us win it throwing the ball, and we were able to do that. In the second week in a row, I said up over 70%, heading in the right direction, getting towards that 65% mark that we talk about. And outside of a couple of throws there, I thought he performed at a level that we all know of which he's capable. And like I talked about Devin, continue to see him trending in the right direction.
Matt.
Just your thoughts on the offensive line. Alex going down right before the game again, and a couple other guys getting hurt, and pass protection seemed really, really good, and just their overall play in that game.
No, very solid. You talk about the width and the depth of the pocket and creating a nice, comfortable area for the quarterback to throw the ball. But, Alex going down, and I think it speaks volumes of the preparation that Coach Mirabal does with those guys, and the cross training, and, having them play different positions during the week. So, Alex goes down in pregame, and Ryan bumps right into center and has really one of his best games. Then Jackson goes down, and George Moore goes in. So, I really believe your offense and your team goes as your O-line and your D-line goes. And, we were able to protect the passer and push the ball down the field against, a bunch of pressures. And then at critical moments and situations in the game, we were able to run the ball where we needed to. So I thought it was an excellent performance by the offensive line.
For two more, Eric.
Mario said that you guys would like the play call back on that interception. I guess I'm curious, is that just a situation where it's a tough balance between staying aggressive but also trying to kill clock? And I don't want to ask you what you would do differently, but is there maybe a lesson learned in terms of how to approach that situation?
Who said we wanted that play call back?
Coach Cristobal.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. The situation we were in right there, up 3 points, with I think it was a little over 3 minutes left on the clock. Coach Cristobal over the phones, he said he wanted us to stay aggressive and keep calling the game the way we had to get to that point. And in my mind, a field goal puts you up 6, so a touchdown still wins the game. So you're looking in that situation. And I think Coach Costa brought up to me the other day. There was the Virginia Louisville game had something very similar where Louisville had to settle for a field goal, only went up 6, and then Virginia comes down and wins the game on a touchdown. So number one, the thought process there was let's score a touchdown and put this thing out of reach, and not have to settle for a field goal and run the risk of losing it on a touchdown. But yeah, there's at the end of the day, we made the call, and we didn't execute it, and probably should have thrown the ball into the 5th row there. But as anything, I'm a guy that wants to point a thumb and not point a finger. And if there was a better play to be called there to try to take a shot in the end zone, I probably wish I could have called a better one there, because obviously it's a results oriented game, and we didn't execute, and I got to find a better way for us to be successful in that situation where we're trying to end the game.
Last question, James.
To Colorado specifically, Joe, it really starts with their linebackers. What have you seen from the ability of Landman in particular, 53, to be a run stopper, but he also has 4 pass breakups. So I realize it's not a pass rusher, but obviously a run stopper, and Wells 26 off the edge.
Yeah, the defense runs through him. Very instinctive, very aggressive. Always seems to be a step ahead of the blocking scheme, and does a nice job in pass coverage too. So you can see he's the emotional and physical leader of the defense. I think 54 and 26, those guys on the edges really present some issues, particularly when they get into their 5 down looks. And I think number 3 on the back end is an incredibly talented cover guy. So they're multiple in what they do from a front standpoint. They're going to mix in 1 high, man and zone, and complement that with some 2 high. So you really got to be on top of it from a game planning perspective to be able to move the ball and score points on these guys.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you. Everybody have a great day. God bless.